What's poppin'? It is your girl Tara Chantel, and I have my queens in the building with me. Ashley, introduce yourself.
My name is Ashley.
I'm Sade.
Lauren.
Sarai.
And we are here to talk about dating in our 20s. And I just want to know, like, what challenges have you ladies faced so far?
For me, it's communication.
Consistency.
Loyalty.
All that.
Trust.
All that.
All
All of that.
But why is it like consistency, loyalty, communication? Why do you think it's like such an awkward stage now that men are in right now? Dating, especially black women.
Yeah.
Intimidation, I feel. Like, a lot of guys feel like, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of guys don't hold that consistency because of the fact that they're intimidated about what you can bring to the table. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you're able to bring more or equal to. And a lot of guys are used to girls that need something. And when you a woman that don't need anything,
Independent.
Mm-hmm.
that can be intimidating. And then it can lack like consistency for that. That's how I feel.
Mm.
Yeah. Or
I
just them not being
personally
ready.
think that it's black women, we seem to be a little bit more outspoken than white women. And a lot of black men, like growing up in the suburbs around black men, they tend to attract white women. They couldn't handle a black girl. So, and I think it's because we're a little bit more dominant and we're not, you know, as
strong-minded.
soft.
Yeah. That's real though, that as beautiful as we are, let's keep it a buck, that we are all single and we see the challenges that it faces just dating wise and how black men are going towards white women. Why do y'all think that is the case?
Other races.
Yeah, why do you think that? Like, why is a lot of black men dating outside of their race when it comes from a black woman? Ashley, why do you think so?
Question I've been trying to answer for a very long time.
That's a great question.
Only a black man
I
can
feel,
answer that.
yeah,
one.
only a black man could answer that because, I don't know, we're attracted to them, but I don't feel like they're attracted to us, the good ones.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we're left with, I don't want to say the leftovers. You know, I love my African-American men, but we don't really get, you know, college educated, no kids, you know, doing something. Maybe it's because most black men aren't raised in a household with a man, so that could play a big part in it too.
And that just going back to what the system tries to place in the foundation of just a black family. They don't want to see black love together.
Right.
They don't want to see black love together.
don't.
How do you think, like, where do we fix this, or like just be a solution to make, I don't know, make black men realize the worth of being with a black queen and how it's power in that? What do you think the solution should be?
It starts in the home.
Yeah.
Like, we can't make them like us. You know, you're gonna be with who
100%.
you want to be with, who make you happy. So, I mean, you know, some households, like we were talking earlier, like Indians and Chinese, Jewish community, they have their own communities. They support each other. When it comes to the African American culture, we don't support each other. We kill each other, you know? So how can we ever have black excellence with that?
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like with everything that's going on now, black men are starting to appreciate black women because of like how, you know, with just how we're treated within society and just how like they see, like, you know, with the racism going on and Black Lives Matter movement and just women being protected in general. Like, you know, there's women that are missing within like the army and the military. Then there's issues going on where women are being mistreated, and I just feel like we're being more defended by black men now than ever. Like, they're starting to appreciate our value as women. Like, we are the prize and black women are valuable. Like, we're very powerful.
Yeah, it is. It's just shocking. It took them now when they came out of a black woman all this long.
What shocks me is that, because we all come from the suburbs, you know, and we have a lot of Caucasian friends. I have a lot of Caucasian girlfriends. Literally half of them are married or engaged, you know.
They move very
But with our culture, it's like it's so many baby showers and no weddings.
Yes.
Why is that? Why do you, Lauren? Why do you think that is like in our community, we are seeing that more often than weddings.
It's easier to make a baby than getting married.
Yeah.
Like white people, I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it like that.
Oh no, that's them.
But they move quickly. Like they understand their value and like what they bring to the table, their money and everything. They put it together and they invest.
They're also not
Well,
scared to
also
commit.
they're
That's the
prepared
difference.
too because they were raised to be prepared in that way. They were raised with the resources.
Yeah.
A lot of black people aren't raised with those resources because of the fact that it's a lot of white people that have their mother and a father, but there's a lot of black homes that don't have either or.
That broken home.
Yeah, that broken home majority of the time. So like when it comes with the resources and you're stable, and then also like money wise, and you're born into money, that's why I feel like a lot of white people move fast when it comes to marriage, careers, finding a home and stuff like that, because they were raised and they were born into money.
Yeah.
As far as with black women and black men, we have to build ourselves up to be that, and a lot of people can't be in a relationship until they're right with themselves, until they have their own
Until
first.
they love themselves.
Yeah, until they
too.
love themselves too. So
Yeah.
like that's part of it.
Yes, Ashley, we are in Ashley's amazing, beautiful home right now. Like
Yes.
you see black excellence, you see black love. Your mom and dad is still together, 27 years.
Yeah.
It's their anniversary this weekend. What do you view on black love? How important is that, and how having like a stable, solid foundation like this?
I think it's very, very, very important. It's just one thing I will have to say. It's not easy. So, like, I've seen my parents, they've argued. They've been through a lot of ups and downs, and they've had their issues. But the most important thing that I've realized is that they came back together. A lot of people are scared of commitment. They're scared to put themselves out there and be vulnerable and understand that not everything's going to always be perfect. So it just takes you just have to take your pride away when you're in a relationship to understand and to commit to actually be willing to keep going forward and not letting it ruin your relationship or ruin what you have going with somebody.
Yes, and how you hit it on the head, like it takes work. But I feel like black men in our generation are thinking it's the easy route to step outside of their race,
Yeah.
to date a white woman because it's not work, it's easier. What do y'all think about that?
I think our generation in general, we tend to give up fast, especially since like I hear a lot of people say child support. Ever since we got that, no one wants to fight for a marriage anymore or try to make it work, do counseling. Women have become a bit more independent, so it's like we don't try to stick it out, like our grandparents did,
Yeah.
Our
through the ups and
grandparents
downs.
really was in it for years and had like a ton of kids.
Right.
And actually, my grandparents met when they were 8 years old.
Hey.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Hey.
Yeah.
Right.
And then just imagine, okay, we're just gonna stick it out. Like I'm not even gonna think that nothing else is out there. Do y'all think social media is playing a
Definitely.
role?
Definitely.
It's brainwashing.
Definitely.
That's what it is.
A lot of people see these relationships as like role models and goals and don't even know like what's behind that. 9 times out of 10, like
Exactly.
it's
It's
not what
tore
you
up.
think what it is.
It's
So,
fronting.
yeah.
It's a lot of
It's a
fronting
lot
on the
of
gram.
fronting.
I
Keeping it
believe
going.
it. Yeah.
And people don't understand that it takes work to get that far in a relationship.
Right.
It takes energy, it takes time, it takes work, it takes communication,
That's
loyalty. It takes everything that we stated to
Yeah.
actually get to that part.
right.
It takes effort too.
Yeah, lots of
A
effort.
lot of people don't want to put in effort.
Don't want to put in their work, and a lot of times men just want their cake and eat it too. They don't really want to commit for real. I feel like they want to hit and just still do them at the end of the day. Like, okay, you gonna
You
while
can be
they
here.
yes, like they can have options, but as women we don't have options, even if it's like the dating stage.
Right.
Why
I don't
is
have
that?
options.
Even if we're just dating, we're not even official. Women don't even have options. That we stick to just one person because we feel like, okay, let's put our all into this person when they're not putting our all into us though.
Right.
As women, I feel like we get emotionally attached faster, and men, they don't. They can hit and pass.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't know. We would have to ask a man that question, like, why is it so easy for you all?
Well, as women, we know what we want. too.
Right.
Like, you know what we
Very
expect
true.
out of men. We, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, when I talk to women in general, they know exactly what they want out of a relationship, what type of guy that they want to date. As far as men, they're just going with the flow, or just, you know, I'm just living life, you know, I'm not looking for anything,
Like,
type
how
of
long
thing.
you gonna live life though?
Yeah.
Like, how long you gonna keep doing that? Like, don't you want to build something with somebody?
Yes.
Like, I don't understand that.
Most
What would you want to
don't.
build with like a man, Lauren?
What I want.
Like how what is like your qualities of a man for you that you looking to
Man
build?
has to communicate. That's number one. Like, I have to know what you're thinking, what's on your mind, like, to move forward in anything. You can't progress with things in the back of your head. Like, that's number one. We going back to the main point. Loyalty, honesty, like, just basics though. It's not even hard. Like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna give you my 100% all as soon as I'm messing with you. And as soon as you show me something else, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
what else can I show you? I gave you my all. Like,
I feel like you have to be stable on your own first. You have to love yourself first before you can love anyone else. You have to be happy with yourself.
That's
If you're not
very
happy
true.
alone, you're not going to be happy with anyone else.
Yes, and
That's
I don't
true.
think a lot of men take the time to love themselves. I don't think a lot of men even do the journey of
They don't have
self-love.
confidence,
But
and they're
also,
very
a lot of
insecure.
men can like sense when women don't have confidence
Ooh,
as well.
yes.
So
They
when
play
they
on
don't
that.
have that confidence, they do play on it, and they play on those emotions. Like, oh yeah, like she weak. So you know what I
Right.
mean?
And they
Right.
and they
And
see
they play
the
with it.
yes,
Yeah,
they
they
see
see
the
it.
desperation of women, and I feel like a lot of times we as women can chase men, and they're not chasing us. It's like we like them more than they even like us.
But last time I checked, the sperm chased the egg, so I'd be damned if I chased it.
Yes, hey, that's what I'm saying. It has to be like reversed and realizing, like as women, we hold the power.
We do.
Like we hold so much power. If we begin to, how we said, have self-love and not taking just the bare minimum, like why are we applauding a fish for swimming? Like this is, you're supposed to do the common courtesies, have character, have integrity. Why are we just settling for doing mediocrity though, as women though?
I think like
We
when you
want the
focus
picture
on
perfect.
yourself, yeah, and then you want the picture perfect, but when you focus on yourself and focus on your goals, that will come. Like,
Yeah.
instead of looking for the perfect guy, like, even for me, like, I've been focusing on myself, focusing on my goals, and I met someone that likes me, you know,
Yeah,
that
that just
actually
comes.
treats me right.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, and it came out of nowhere, like, and I appreciate that, you know what I mean? But I'm still focused on, like, what I want to do in life, and, you know, you can't just put all your energy like in wanting a man. You have to put your energy in yourself, and then once you put that energy in yourself, and that's part of self-love, all that will come, like the perfect guy, the perfect time. You know, like what you want out of a guy will just follow through when you put that same energy of what you want out of that guy into yourself.
Yes.
So that's how I feel about it. And
That's actually why I ended my last relationship, because it was disrupting my peace.
yeah, and you can't let nothing disrupt your peace.
And I feel like peace is success for real. If you
Right.
got a peace of mind, you are successful for real.
Right.
What is self-love for you, Ashley?
Self-love for me is, you know, your mindset. It's like having a good mindset, taking care of yourself, taking care of your health, taking care of everything that you need to get done to be your best self, to be like your prime self, to be like successful in your own body and your spirit, your mind, emotionally, understanding that you love yourself and no one can take that away from you.
At all.
Yourself.
Yeah, right.
Might as well love you.
Yes, the power in that. And I realize, like, as women, if we really do just take our power back, it's really no reason why we should give so many men that are temporary, that's not really our husband, our power.
Yeah, no reason.
Soraya, what do you think about self-love and your view on self-love?
You have to be happy with yourself, you know.
Straight
You
like
have to be
that.
comfortable with yourself. And once you focus on yourself, like we said, then the rest will follow.
Yeah. It is so
Everything
simple.
will fall into place.
Yeah. What are your viewpoints on everything that's going on with the Black Lives Matter? Do y'all feel like it's a trend, or do y'all feel like they actually care about
I don't
us?
think they care
It's a
for
trend.
real. I mean, we've been black. I mean, black
And it's
been
been
here.
happening.
Honestly, this is what I think about it. I think everything going right now separates, and it really shows you, like, even just on social media and the rioting, the police brutality, I think it shows you who actually cares and who doesn't.
Yeah.
So it shows you, like, I feel like it's separating the people. It's like pretty much anybody who you feel like who had records or past actions of police brutality, they are getting fired right now. They're getting seen on social media. Like, things are happening.
But it's
still
our
a change.
generation that's not tolerating it. See,
And
back
that's what I
then,
love.
that generation tolerated. Our generation,
Yeah.
like, we're not for that, and things need
Exactly.
to change. Like,
Yeah.
you're getting fired, you're getting press charges,
Exactly.
Right.
And I love that.
and that's amazing because we need that, because we need to see, like, that's not tolerable. You can't treat
Right.
people like that, black, white, whatever, but black people in general, we've been mistreated for many years, and I just think, like, a lot of white people don't know or notice racism because they don't know
They
that.
blind,
They
yeah.
don't
Blind
know.
to it, yeah.
So when they see it, just like the best thing I feel like about this generation is everything is recorded.
Yes,
So when
that's
they
why
see
it's
it, they're like,
media.
damn, that really do happen. It's not just hearsay.
Yeah.
They actually see it, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Never is he getting treated like that. Never is that cop knee on his neck for no reason.
Exactly.
And he not doing anything. He not even resisting. He's complying with his orders and everything. So, like, I just think it's just them saying, like, that's crazy. Like, no. You're gonna be
Unacceptable.
accountable for your actions.
Yes.
And you're not going to treat people like this in general. You're not going to treat black people like this either, because we don't deserve that.
Yes, thank God for technology,
Right.
because it's just showing the racism. It's showing all these Karens out there. What, Lauren? What do you think about Karen? I really want to know. What do you think about Karen?
I think they're just uneducated. I mean, and ignorant. Like, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I don't even have an answer for it, honestly. When I
Yeah.
see the videos, I'm like, are you kidding me?
But it's
Like, are you
multiple
kidding me?
of. It's like
And
it's
they
like a
have so
dozen
much
of.
confidence. I
It's
feel like
entitlement.
Trump
They
is
feel
giving
entitled.
so
Yeah.
much confidence to
They
just
feel
act
entitled.
out. Like, before, I mean, it's always been happening, but not like this. Like, it's in numbers. Like,
Yeah.
every day is something new.
It's a new
And it's just
Karen.
like,
It's a new
you've
Karen.
been too comfortable with yourself. Like,
Yeah.
we don't be
Yes.
playing. This generation don't play.
Oh
Seriously.
yeah,
Yes.
honestly. And so like, how would you handle a Karen if she comes to you acting crazy?
I don't know. It's many different ways that you can. I feel like it depends on the person, you know?
Well, how would
I
you?
don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
I already knew that.
I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really they trying to trigger us though, especially the ones that are using derogatory terms to us purposefully, purposely.
I always tell my friends, and I tell people who are about to argue, and people always say, don't let words dictate your emotions. You shouldn't let no one dictate your energy, ruin your time. Because I just ran into a Karen about 3 days ago at my friend's little birthday thing. Couldn't even hear the music. She coming over there. You guys need to turn down the music. Couldn't even hear it.
What?
So you knew she was just coming over there trying to
Just
be
be
Karen.
nosy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know,
But what is their beef though with us? Because
they're just mad.
Just our skin color. It's
Yeah.
no beef.
They're
Yeah.
ignorant.
I think
They
they
really
want to
just
be like
ignorant.
oh, they want to be us.
what it
I
is.
really think they
Why
want to
else do
be
they
us.
tan and get orange?
And they're miserable. Misery loves company. So they want other
They
people to
have
be
no
miserable
sense
with
of
them.
culture, no nothing.
Yeah.
Copy
There's
everything.
nothing about them that's unique. They have nothing.
They have nothing.
They have
Besides
absolutely
casserole.
nothing. Okay, and macaroni and cheese on the stove.
Yes, but as black people, we are so forgiving. We are so loving.
Yeah.
We be like, we don't see color, but no, when they see us, black as ever, they scared of the dark.
Yeah.
But why is that we are just so forgiving towards them, and they don't got
Because
that
we're
same
happy
praise.
with ourselves.
Because
We're
we're
happy
blessed.
with our color.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love our hair texture. You know.
Facts. And I feel like God was forgiving, so You gotta remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you see, like the white girls now, all over social media, they're trying to get braids. They're buying bodies that black girls have.
Exactly.
Like they're trying to change themselves.
We are
These
trendsetters.
lips, you know, are big
Literally
lips. Like
trendsetters.
that's exactly what
They
it
used to make
is.
fun of us
And
for that.
exactly, but that's what that's a great point. How they made us have self-hatred and just stemming off of the fact of colorism, like how we will all be discriminating or just looked at each other differently. Oh, you light skin, you got long hair. Like we would hate our own though. They made us hate our own. What do y'all like? What's your take on that? Because colorism is real even in the black community.
That still happens every day.
It does. And I hate the whole thing with me. Like, I hate when people be like, she's pretty for a brown skin girl. I hate that.
Yes.
Because your skin color does not define your beauty at all. And I just feel like, you know, being light skinned, we do have a little bit more of like a privilege than a brown skinned woman because of the fact, like, people just be like, you know,
Chocolate.
you know,
beautiful.
I
I ate
beautiful,
the
but
literally black of the
they'll
bed.
get the backlash too, and I
Yeah.
just feel bad. But being light skinned, you have to stand up for that because
should, right.
you can't just say anything. Like, we're still black at the end of the day, and I'm gonna stick up for my black women in general, brown, light, caramel, whatever. And I just feel like people feel like, oh, you're light skinned, beautiful, with long hair, you're privileged. I don't feel privileged because of the fact, like, I still deal with racism every day. And like, even colorism is like a different shift of it. It's just like, you know, we get the backlash of both, like, you know, being black and dealing with
on
white
top of
people, and
that.
it does.
And then on
suck.
top of that, right, of our
Yeah.
own community. Have you ran into any discrimination for being a darker complexion?
Not a darker complexion, no. I've actually had a racist encounter in high school in Memphis.
Really?
Yes.
By your own or?
No.
Oh, good.
By, like, you know,
How
my
was
guidance
that?
counselor teacher tried to fail me, and I was a 3.9 student.
Wow.
So, you know, I've dealt with racism,
Yeah.
period. In the South, you're going to deal with it. It just happens. But I've never actually dealt with any colorism.
That's good.
I've never dealt with any colorism.
That's good because I don't think it should be tolerated. It shouldn't be
It
accepted.
shouldn't even exist.
Yeah, like and
we're all black. Black people come, like I said earlier, black people come in all different shades. That's what makes us so diverse. and
look how beautiful this couch is. Golly.
And I feel like it's also more of a because I'm more of a middle. I think it's most people that deal with colorism are darker than me,
Yeah.
or darker skinned than me,
Yeah.
and I feel like they deal with it more.
Yeah, yes.
Sad.
It's
Yeah.
real life that we are against each other in the black community. Like we
it's sad.
we have colorism, especially like preferences.
Yeah.
You know how some men just like, okay, I only can date lighter skin complexion. They
Oh,
want
she got good hair. My baby gonna have good hair. Like, no, that's not how it works. It has nothing to do with that.
you gotta throw them preferences
Right.
away.
I hate it.
I
But
don't-
Shay Moisture, anybody gonna have good hair.
Right. The
Have
black-
a little water.
But that just shows like the shallow of the mind level for me though. Like all you care about is looks. Your baby gonna come out crazy if this woman is crazy.
True. You gotta
Yeah.
do her for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of what she looks like.
Yeah, so as we are all women that don't have kids, what do you guys think about having kids out of wedlock? Sarai, you can start this.
Children are a blessing and things happen. No one is perfect. Children are, a gift from God. They come through us, they're not from us. So we're just parents,
Yeah. Do
Every,
you see any challenges like occur?
Of course. I mean, that's obvious if you're not ready for one. But then again, I do know a lot of single mothers who are handling it, holding it down better than someone that may be married or, have money or whatever. I think it depends on the person. Do I agree with it? No, because the household that I was raised in, I want a marriage before a child. So, and then I want that stable foundation because like we said, if you have a son, it makes a difference in the way that they're raised and how they'll treat a woman if they're raised with a man.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a difference, but I don't have anything against anyone
yeah.
having a baby out of wedlock.
Oh yeah, Lauren. What about your like view on marriage and?
Well, having a baby out of wedlock, you know, it happens. I honestly, I wouldn't want it for myself just in this generation. Like back then, it probably wouldn't have been as bad. Like, you know, people would stick it out. But nowadays, it's just, I know too many people who don't, you know, stick around for the ending. And it's just like, I don't want that. I need a stable foundation, like you said. Like, I need that marriage. So when I have my baby, we're going to be a unit.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But let's be clear, like, all marriages don't last
They
either.
don't.
I don't believe in divorce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Because you experienced that, you know,
Yeah.
So what do you like? What's your view on marriage? Like you
Just
see,
on-
you
yeah.
see marriage and just the solid foundation and just like the what? I just would love to know your view on your standpoint.
I just feel like when you say the vows, and you know the vows are like for richer, for poor, for better, or for worse, in sickness and health. And I've seen my parents go through all of that.
Right.
So even this, especially the sickness part, because you know my dad had kidney failure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just don't. I just feel like no one, when people get divorced, they didn't mean their vows. The only thing I will accept a divorce in is adultery, and that's it. Like, you know, because.
Yeah.
But when you say the vows, I just feel like you should mean it. Like, that's a partner. Marriage is a partnership. It's not just going to be, you know, one person gives all and you're just there lollygagging. It's a partnership. You both have to work to keep the foundation together, to keep it sturdy, to keep it growing.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy, but our generation is so quick to give up.
I know. So quick.
And then social
That's the sad
media.
part. Yeah, I think social media is the
Oh,
biggest
but
part about
but
it.
how you said for sickness and for health, sis, that plays a role. So you mean to tell me I gotta stick with you when you can't walk, when you can't
Yeah.
talk? I'm your one. We are one
That's what I
together.
mean. It's a partnership.
Yeah.
It's not. The eyes become us.
It's like a business deal, honestly.
Yeah.
It is. This is a business. But I feel like a lot of times I see a lot on Twitter, especially like they think it's a fairy tale. I want to get married. It's just like a fairy tale. You just want a wedding.
Yeah.
They don't want a marriage. They want a wedding.
Right.
I wouldn't even care to
That's a
have a
good
wedding
point.
if I get married. My parents actually didn't have a wedding.
You save
Mine
so much.
didn't
You
either.
save so much money. Not. You
Yeah.
save
My
so
parents
much
didn't
money.
have a wedding either.
Yeah.
They got married downtown. They've been together for 25 years.
Exactly.
Wow,
And
so-
it's crazy. Because
Yeah.
all the people that who have weddings be.
Right. Spending all that money.
They still together 27
Amen.
That's beautiful. Yes, my parents had a wedding as well. I can't even know what 28. Like they on that. But seeing that we've been raised off of a solid foundation, so I feel like that plays a huge role in our mentality as women. We see marriage, we see the foundation, we see the structure of having two family, like a male and a female in the household.
Growing up with the male, seeing how a male is supposed to treat a woman, we know we can't settle for anything less.
I
You
feel
know,
that. I
and that
really
is
feel
so
that.
important for a woman to have a father in their life.
Yeah, that masculine energy plays a huge role. I don't think like we should seek a man to be our daddy. Like that's if you got one daddy. Literally, I would never call.
I don't need one.
I got one.
I already got one.
Literally, I would never call a dude daddy when I have a whole father that's proactively in my life. What do you think about marriage and like having kids out of wedlock?
For me, just because, well, my parents had me out of wedlock. They had me when they got married when I was 4, and I didn't go to the wedding. I didn't go downtown with them. I went to daycare, which I don't know why. But
They still together.
but they still together, so they did have me out of wedlock. But
Sometimes it works.
it works, but they really love each other. You know what I mean? And it's not easy. For a marriage to work all the time. Like they have their issues, but if you want it to work, it's going to work. You know what I mean? And for me, I don't want to have a kid out of wedlock. I have seen a lot of people that have kids out of wedlock and it doesn't work out. And I just feel like their advice be like, don't do it. You know what I mean? Like just don't do it. Every person that I know that has a kid that is single told me like wait wait until you're married. And I just take that advice. Like my advice comes through other people's lives that they live.
Yeah.
So like for me, I would love to get married, then have a kid, you know, and just do it. To me, I just want to do something right by God.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Like, you know, we're not perfect and we all commit sins or whatever, but that's just the one thing that I do want to do right is to get married and to have kids and to do it the right way. Like, I want it to be with someone that I love, not someone that is just temporary. And I want it to be with someone that I have a strong bond with, and I want it to be with someone that never experienced it before, because that's what makes it stronger.
Yes,
So-
yeah, exactly. I feel the exact same way.
But it starts in the household, though. So
Yeah.
a lot of
and
guys, they're not taught that. They
and
don't
how,
know.
how we going back off of a lot of men?
True,
was
but
it-
a lot of guys that's not taught it want it as well, because it's like, dang, I never seen that, but I would love to experience that too. So it's like both sides of it. Like,
Where they at?
They don't know how to go about it,
they're
man.
out there.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that we really get the short end of the stick. How a lot of times our men were not raised by masculine energy, and they didn't see that solid foundation. Because if they did see a black woman and a black man together dominating things, I think they would go so hard for
But
us.
some
to-
do and still don't want that.
Some do.
You know,
for
some
sure. Like
do.
they
But I
aunties.
also
It's all
think
about your
there's a
preference.
difference between having a boyfriend and a husband.
Ooh, what's the difference, sis? Let me know the difference, because why are we striving to settle for a
Because-
girlfriend instead of being a wife?
Exactly. And you know, God actually doesn't. He favors having a wife. He
And it's
doesn't
no such
favor
thing as
fornication.
boyfriend.
Dating. Yeah, there's
that's
no
a
such
made
thing
up.
as
That's
dating.
made up.
Exactly.
But you know what? Our generation, we rush everything. Like your mom was just saying today. They met in college. They have history together.
They broke up after college too.
Right, but they still had that history and they ended up coming back together. Our generation, they give it up in the first month and then wonder why they can't keep someone around.
But that
You know,
doesn't,
we
just
rush
because you have
everything.
sex on the first night doesn't necessarily mean you won't be with them, because my parents are together. And
It can go either way, but it's,
You know
it's
what I
less
mean?
likely.
And
It's
they
very
broke
less
up.
likely.
they broke up and ended up getting back together, like, because my mom lived in Twinsburg. My dad was like, you live too far, because he's from the Heights. He said a little too far because his car broke down, and his brother had to go come pick him up. So 2 years later, they linked back up because they
That's
met at
God,
United States.
honestly.
So like they
Everybody's
skating,
parents broke up
You-
and got
Yeah,
back
right.
together.
Yeah.
it's all about.
And that's
That is
when it's
funny.
really meant to be.
Right.
When
You
y'all
know
come
who's
back.
meant for you, you know who's gonna be your husband.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a big
You don't
difference.
gotta force it. But I love how you said it's not even in the Bible of a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Where did that come about? And why are we settling as women to settle to just be somebody's fake wife?
Exactly.
You gotta
Honestly,
get to know somebody though.
Exactly.
but
You know, it's like trial and
I think
error.
that's like a friendship.
And
Why
that's-
can't we just
and-
keep it
and
friends?
the thing is,
then?
I actually watched a spoken word of dating versus marriage, and it's really
Ooh.
good. And he basically said, I kind of forgot his name. But I'm just
Oh
gonna
yeah,
say what he said.
speaky.
But he basically said people are scared of commitment. People are scared. They date because they're not sure if this is gonna work out. So yeah, it is trial and error because people.
Yeah,
are
let's just test
afraid.
this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just test drive this.
Which makes sense.
Right.
So, you
My
know,
I
They
refuse somebody to
testers.
test drive me out though.
Right.
Honestly.
My father always tell me and my sister the story that when he was growing up, his father knew he was, out here messing around, but he always told him, if you get that girl Anna pregnant, you have to marry her. So when he got older, he met my mother. He got her pregnant. He ended up marrying my mother and stayed with her up until we were grown, and divorced because she's, in Morocco. But other
See,
than
I
that,
understand.
a lot of men, they're not taught that. They don't know that. So
Yeah, they rather just
They don't-
be as a baby father. I don't think I don't think no men goes, I mean, maybe get me wrong, but anybody just strives to be like, oh, I want to get married. I think women, we just not necessarily force that, but we imply that, like, we gonna have to get married. We can't just be shacking
But we
up.
shouldn't be the only ones implying that. They
Exactly.
should imply it as well.
Yeah,
I got my
they
girl
guys
pregnant. I love her and my child. I love her enough to get her pregnant. She's carrying my child for 9 months. She
Literally.
could die giving birth to
Literally
this
could
child.
die.
Like
Literally.
I should want to marry her.
Yeah.
But most of them don't think
But,
like that.
but that's what I'm saying. I don't think men even understand the severity as a woman.
As a
Just-
black woman
Just
giving
having
birth.
Carrying your child.
for 9 months.
9
says,
months.
You telling me I'm gonna carry this child for 9 months, Then on top of that, you're going to think I'm going to raise this kid alone. And I'm not getting nothing out of this.
That's what absolutely.
That hurts. It hurts. It pains me to see that, because the kids are suffering due to the fact that they come out of lust or they come out of just sexual activity. And I really think we should think before we lay down with anybody, because that's a severe thing to do, is have kids with somebody that's not meant to be with us.
Right.
These kids ain't no joke though.
Change
That's
your
a
whole life.
That's the whole life. Man, so Soraya, what do you think about like being a girlfriend versus a wife? Do you do the same things?
You know what? Honestly, growing up is just a learning experience, because in my previous relationship, I was okay with that, you know, and I really could have settled, but
that pause. Yeah.
no, because you know you go through a lot in relationships, so.
Are you?
Yeah. No, that's real though. We all go, like, this is a real talk.
In
like
my past relationship that I was in for 5 years, like, I just felt like, for me, like, I get into like wife mode because that's just who I am. Like, I would clean your clothes, I would clean your house, I would,
Because you want it to
because
work.
that's
and that's just our nature.
But that's in my
though.
nature. I'm that type of female. I would cook for you, clean for you, buy groceries, I contribute, buy you random gifts. Like, that's just the type of woman that I am.
And
And that's what I seen growing up, you know, with my
Yeah,
marriage.
But because they're married.
Right.
Yeah, to remember
True,
that.
they're married.
True.
And my mom always told me, even my dad told me, you cannot give marriage qualities to a boyfriend.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes.
Like, once
That's
you give them
difference.
everything, they don't have nothing to work for.
Yeah.
You can't give them everything. He was like, just cook them pancakes. That's it. Don't.
No, hey, McDonald's,
Don't do the salmon with the asparagus.
yes,
You know,
you being too good.
you
Like,
can't do
you
that.
don't need
Don't
to
wash
play
his clothes. He
house.
can wash his own clothes. Like, don't do that. Like, clean after yourself, but you don't got to clean up the whole house like you Molly the maid. Like, that's not your role. Y'all don't live together. So it's all about knowing your role as like, and playing your part. Like, really, it's just knowing your role. Like, we're not married, but hey, I want you to know these are the qualities that I do bring if we do get married.
But I don't even feel like we have to do all that to
Right.
show you that you are a quality wife.
Right.
Or
You
you
should just know.
you should know your
know.
character,
Right.
just how caring you are, your integrity,
But
your
they
morals.
have to know that too, because we're not just gonna be like, oh, you can't bring anything to the table. I want to know, show me what makes you, you know, husband material.
Exactly.
What makes
Cook
you
me
so
dinner.
special than
Wash
everybody
my
else?
clothes.
Yeah.
Right. Wash my
Yes. I just want to, Lauren, did you ever like feel like you ran into that being a girlfriend and showing the qualities of a wife to
I think I have before, but like I kind of stopped myself. Like when the day is over, I'd be like, why did I just do all that? Like I'd be like, why did I just have to do all that? And then I feel stupid about myself. But then it'd be like, well, I want to show you what I can do. Like, you know, same thing. But it's like I'm doing too much, and I feel like I shouldn't have to do all that.
I have a question for you, Tara.
Yeah.
How long do you think is long enough to be in a relationship until it's like, I either get a ring or I'm leaving?
I don't think it's like a necessarily like a time limit per se, but a man knows. They know if you are a wife or not. They know if they can play around with you, if you a one night stand, or if you someone I should take seriously. If you gonna put your standards off from the jump, that's why I try to tell women to hold out as long as possible of having sex, because that holds your power, and that mean that like the pussy is the power, and if you bust it open, they will take advantage of your innocence and your sacred. I feel like that's treasure. And so I would just hold off of that as long as possible. And I know it's like hard for our generation, because we feel like in order to date somebody, in order to talk to somebody, we have to, like, that's how to get to know them, like by sharing our body. But that's a very sacred space to be in. And I don't necessarily think that's what we should do in order to find out if you are quality or some, you know,
Right.
potential.
You gotta be friends first. Get to know someone. It all starts with a friendship. Like, a relationship is a friendship. And like, I don't think it's like a time limit on when to get married or not, but I know I'm not waiting no more than 5 years.
Oh,
wait, no,
There's a
wait,
time
that's-
limit.
One better be
That's the
talking
time
about
out for my
something.
side.
Some
At
years.
the
Sorry,
age
it's
that
all-
I am, since I'm about
What
to,
size am
since
I
I'm
thinking?
pushing 30, you know, I'm not waiting no more honestly now to no more than like 3 to 4.
Yeah,
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm pushing 30.
First of all, it's no game should be played, and
But it's a time limit within yourself. You know what you feel. is
Yeah.
appropriate.
I say 3 because I feel like you don't even know who you're dating until
Right.
after a year.
Mm.
At least.
Even
You
that.
don't know who you're dating.
You can date someone
Yeah.
for 5 years and don't know who they are.
Yeah, it's
like stuff happens.
that's-
People
Yeah.
change.
That's why it's no rush. So that's why I personally want to marry my best friend. I don't
Right.
want to marry a boyfriend.
That's why you gotta start with
Exactly.
the friendship. You know, build the friendship and.
And
see where it goes.
I feel like having sex is just the icing on the cake. Cause then
Right.
if you unlock if you unlock me mentally, if you stimulate my mind mentally, then
You know
oh
it's
yeah, I
gonna be
can
good.
actually get inwardly with you. You know, so I just think that it's levels to it. Like as women, we don't need to play ourselves. We don't need to play wifey to a boyfriend, and it sounds very like childlike when I just the term boyfriend, like a boy, you know, and you 30 plus, and I'm calling you a boy, you know,
friend.
hey, like come on, we gotta play this role accordingly. And I just want to like leave off with this, like what is some wisdom you would tell young women for them to take their power back, to realize their worth? You can start it, Sarai. We're going to start it with you.
To realize their worth.
To realize their worth, to not settle for less out here.
It starts with self-love. You have to focus on yourself. Get your education first. You know, get a career for yourself first. That way you can be stable with or without a man, you know. And definitely hold out. I'm with you. Hold out on sex. You know, a one night stand might work for most, but you know,
That's
it's
a
less
good one.
likely to work out. So
Yeah.
just wait. Love yourself. If he loves you, he will be willing to wait.
He going to
Exactly.
fight for you.
Right.
I say figure out who you are first and foremost. Like it took me years to figure out who I am and what I want out of man or out of myself, period. Like work on yourself, build up everything you can so you have a stable foundation and stable everything. So when you come to somebody, like you have something to give. And if you pull away, you still have something. So that's what I would say.
What was the
Renee?
question?
Giving wisdom to young women off of just their self-worth, to not settle for less out here, to value themselves.
Be patient. You know, a lot of, even myself in the past, like I noticed, like since I know what I want, I will rush into things because this is what I want. But like, and it don't work out at the end. So I just say be patient, take your time, focus on yourself. Don't chase after anything. I feel like I said earlier, like when you just focus on yourself, everything aligns. Like God has a path for everyone, and I just feel like God wants you to focus on yourself, get yourself right mentally, you know, get yourself right financially, because you have to be able to support yourself before you can support somebody else, whether if it's like just emotional support, you know, financial support, whatever it is. Well, I'm not supporting on that financially,
Yeah.
but it's just the fact like you should have your shit together for yourself before trying to seek another man, because like you're going to attract whatever you are or whatever you're doing with your life. That's exactly what you're going to attract. If you're being a bum, you're going to attract a bum. If you're being successful, you're on your shit, you making money, you doing what you got to do, and not necessarily like you don't have to go to school to be successful, because school isn't for everyone. But like if you on your shit, that's exactly what you're going to attract, and everything will fall into place. And it's sad to say, like it took that like 27 years to learn that, but
it takes time.
I'm learning.
It takes
And-
time. We wasn't taught self-love.
right.
That's the thing.
You're not
You have
taught
to teach
that,
yourself
but
that.
my mom did try to teach me that at a young age. Like, you know, you gotta love yourself. She said you cannot love nobody else unless you love yourself, and nobody's gonna love you unless you love yourself. Whether if it's a friendship or whether if it's a relationship, like people can sense and reflect like off of your confidence. Like if you're confident, that's the way they're gonna treat you, and that's the type of people that you attract as well. Like if you're successful, you attract successful people.
You are what you
know,
attract. I strongly believe
Positive,
that.
that's what you attract.
Yes,
So,
it's power.
It's all about what you put into yourself Like, what you put out is what you receive back.
Within. What about you, Ashley? About giving these
Like all three of
advice?
you guys had hit it on the nail. So
Y'all
you know,
did. Y'all did.
The
Finish us
only
off.
thing-
Icing on. Great.
The only thing I can really say is that, you know, not everything is going to always be perfect. And so you just have to be willing to get back up and fight harder, go harder, and still be the best version of yourself regardless of any obstacles that you have.
Yes, man. This was a sister talk. Some real talk. That bag talk. I'm so thankful for our friendship, ladies. I'm thankful to be on this platform with you guys.
We're thankful for you.
We're thankful for you.
Yes.
All the way from Cleveland
All the way
to
from
Atlanta.
We came with it. Yes, we came with it. Can y'all let us know y'all socials? Ashley,
Oh, okay, it's X Ashley. So y'all figure that out.
I'm gonna type it below. Tap in.
Mine is Desihova, Desihova.
Mine is I am Foreign Lauren.
Yes.
I am unique.
Yes, and hey, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, for tapping in. Stay tuned for another Bag Talk session. We're gonna be back at it with another one.
Bye.